Welcome to If Numbers Could Talk. My name is Keelan. Today's episode 53, is titled A Thought and a List. A thought about what it's like to be Russell Westbrook, a guy who's been number one and is now number three as far as scoring options. Not number three, however, as far as what he's done consistently. I'd say he's number one in his career for that. And I just think it's interesting that we don't acknowledge that someone can have nearly the same numbers as the third option that they had as the number one option. But we'll get there in a little bit. That's what that's all about. A thought and a list of players who, in my opinion, definitely do not get discussed enough. They get discussed, some much more than others, but they did get discussed in different ways. But defensive guards, I have a list of a few guys. They had to play at least 40 games so far this season and be able to average somewhere in the range of one steal and one block per game. It might be zero point 0.8 steals and 1.3 blocks, or zero point 0.9 steals and one block, 1.1 steals and zero point 0.8 blocks or zero point 0.9 blocks, something of that nature. But people, guards that are in that range for their teams. So again, this episode is titled A Thought and a List. Let's jump on into it, guys. So let's really begin with the Russell Westbrook topic. Just I'm a Laker fan, right? So I'm always hearing it, especially I'm seeing it as well. I get it. I know what everybody sees. I understand that he's not passing the eye test in the system that we run. That's not a secret. Anybody who's watching basketball understands that what you see isn't what you expected to see. Now, what they expected, we don't know, but what you or we expected as fans, I'll say it that way. We expected to see 12 to 20, 30, and 12 and 12 nights from Russell Westbrook. However, he is currently the third option on the Los Angeles Lakers when all of the players are healthy. Everybody is at full strength. It goes LeBron, Anthony Davis, and then Russell Westbrook. Over Russell's career, he's been either the number one or the number two option on every team. And in my opinion, he thrives best in the number one and the three option spot. It doesn't look too good so far as the number three option, at least from what we see as a Laker. But as the number one option, we know what we get out of Russell Westbrook. As the number two option, I don't think we've had enough examples to really compare, aside from when the team here in Los Angeles is not at full strength. So let's go down the list really quick on Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is a gold medal winner in the Olympics. He has 9 All NBA appearances. He was on the All Rookie team. He has 2 All-Star MVPs, 1 NBA MVP for 2016 and 2017. He is on the 75th anniversary team. He has 2 scoring championships and 3 assist championships. Russell Westbrook will, if he can, every single year give you 82 games this season. I think there's only 3 seasons he played less than 80 games, and 1 season he played less than 50 games. He was injured. I think any time Russell is not on the floor, he's actually not able to play. You go and look through his list, it's nearly 80, 82, 82, 82, 80, 80, 76, 80, 80, 80, 62, 62, things like that. Like, he's going to give you every single thing he can. So before we jump into those statistics of him as the third option this year on the Lakers and him as the number one option in the past, or maybe the number two, depending on what team he was on, maybe Houston. Hey, let's give a shout out to JP. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you. JP says, we are in here. Yes, you are, brother. Which should be AD, then Russ, then Bron? I actually understand. I totally understand why. I'm going to show that up on screen for you guys. It should be Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, and then LeBron in the scoring order. I understand what he's saying in terms of who you want to get going. The guy that you're going to want to be the backup guy you get going, and then the guy that you don't really have to worry about. Why is he the number one option? Make him the last option because he's going to get you that bucket. I totally understand that, JP. I do. I can't say I would do it that way, but I understand. Um, JP also says, don't forget the 4 seasons that he averaged a triple double. Right, right. People often forget that Russell Westbrook averaged triple doubles for multiple seasons. But I think what we don't really pay attention to is his entire career has been very close to a triple double. So let's start with the 21-22 Los Angeles Lakers. I'm going to leave that up really quick just while we cover Russell Westbrook. I appreciate you for tapping in, brother. So 21-22, right now, what we're looking at, Russell Westbrook to date is averaging 18 points, 7.5 rebounds, 7 assists, and 0.3 blocks with 1 steal in every single basketball game. Now, again, we can discuss the eye test all day, but remember, we're not so much hung up on emotions here on If Numbers Could Talk. Let's talk some facts. Russell Westbrook is an amazing ball player. Yeah, he's been missing a lot of shots that we want to see him make. Okay, sure, he has turnovers that we don't think he should be making. But guess what? If you go and look at the turnover numbers in the NBA in general, Russell Westbrook's not even in the top 10. It's that simple. I don't even think he's in the top 10 for guards, but I didn't look at it for just guards. But he's not in the top 10 he's not a turnover monster like everybody's trying to make it seem. And if you look at also his percentages aren't bad. I personally don't think he's taking shots that are in his wheelhouse every night. He's working in the system that he's in. So a lot of times I notice we end up seeing guys rotate on the opposite side of the ball. So if Russell's on weak side, he's going to end up rotating down to the corner. Ball's going to swing to that corner and he's going to put that shot up. Even if he's not going to make it, it's the right shot to shoot. He's wide open in the corner. Shoot the shot. So I think a lot of those things get misunderstood because, again, we want to see some highlights, right? We want to see Russell Westbrook every night jumping over a crowd, making everybody clapped on him, and he's pitching the ball behind his back, turning his head, throwing no-look passes. That's what we want to see. Well, guess what? He's still giving us really great numbers, but as a team, it's not happening. So let me explain about those great numbers. His career numbers. I'm not going to go too deep on this. I'll actually do a full episode on Russell Westbrook another day, but I don't want it to be about how everybody feels about him. I want it to be about what he is capable of doing and what he has done. So let's get that out the way right now, that other stuff. Career-wise, Russell Westbrook points, 22.8 points, 7.4 rebounds, 8.5 assists, 0.3 blocks, and 1.7 steals for his NBA career. Russell Westbrook's been in the NBA, I want to say about 14 years now. So let's go over those career numbers again. 22.8 points, 7.4 assists, 8.5 assists. Oh, I'm sorry. 7.4 rebounds, 8.5 assists, 0.3 blocks, and 1.7 steals. I don't think a guy who's giving you 18, 7.5, 7.3, and 1 this season and was giving you those numbers for his career has really fell off. He hasn't. And if you ask me, you go and look, everybody says, oh, he was doing so much better in OKC. I don't know if that's really the case. If you look, when he got around more talent, what he was actually able to do is distribute more. His assist went up. His assist went from, I think, like 4 to 7. That's an increase. His points dropped 2 points, 3 points. Let's see, 18 to 22, 4 points. 22.8. So let's call it 5, I guess, right? I'm trying to work with you guys here on this. Oh, he's terrible. Or you just want to see wins and you don't really understand what you're watching, and that's fine. But let's give him a chance, right? Let's sometimes take a minute to step back and say, hey, look, I don't like what I'm seeing, but what is it really doing on the floor? What am I missing? That to me is the importance of watching the games and going to look at the numbers, because you think to yourself, I didn't see this dude score 27. How did he do that? or I didn't see him get 7 or 8 or 9 assists, or I didn't see him get 4 steals tonight. How did he get 4 steals tonight? Those are the things that I think we should really pay attention to um, with these players. And I bring up all of those things and the lack of attention given to uh, the consistency of Russell Westbrook to lead into bringing up the consistency of some of these other players. So I have a list here. Let me think. I have 7 guys. These 7 guys have played 40 games in this year's NBA. They have around 1 steal on average and around 1 block on average. So again, that could be 0.8, 0.9 in some cases. The first guy on my list played 52 games. He is 6'5", Matisse Thybulle. Matisse was the 20 was on the 2020-2021 all defensive team. He is currently averaging 5.7 points, 2.4 rebounds, 1.2 assists, 1.1 block, and 1.8 steal. 1.1 block and 1.8 steal for a guard. Again, this entire list is guards. So that's Matisse Thybulle. Go ahead and check him out. Find out when he plays your favorite team, and keep an eye on that guy because he's definitely going to cause some havoc on the defensive end. The next guy on my list is a 6'5" player who's played 65 games. He was traded from the Kings to the Pacers. Still not really sure what was going on with that. Why would you give this guy up? I don't know. He's gotten better just from being moved. If you go and look at his numbers, everything is in the plus category. I think the only thing to decline is steals, but everything else is in a plus. That guy is Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton was on a 2020-2021 all-rookie team. He is currently averaging 15.2 points, 4 rebounds, 7.9 assists, currently 9 on the Pacers since he's gotten there, 1.8 blocks, and 0.6 steals. So he's averaging more blocks than he is steals. That's weird. I'm thinking I had to write that incorrectly, right? But yeah, so go ahead and check out Tyrese Halliburton. He's another guy who is causing some dismay on the defensive end. And I think he should be discussed more. I mean, he's been discussed a lot more recently since the trade deadline because nobody saw him coming. No one saw him. Well, excuse me. No one saw his trade coming. So that was surprising to us all. Yes. Yes. Matisse is elite, JP. Exactly. I mean, hey, listen. I think once Matisse is able to really work his way into the system offensively, his defense is only going to get better because he's going to be getting those extra touches. So it's going to give him more confidence. He's going to be more confident when he goes for those defensive possessions. And I think, as we've seen in the past, as he gets more mature in his game, he becomes more intelligent on defense and on offense. His foul numbers will go down. I want to say he's averaging about 2 fouls or 2.4 fouls a game right now, maybe 3. I think that'll decrease as well. So yeah, Matisse is definitely an elite player, and I don't think that Philly is getting rid of him anytime soon. If Philly were to get rid of him anytime soon, I would really like to see what they're getting for him because I don't see any reason to get rid of Matisse Thybulle. The next guy on my list is a 6'1" player. In fact, he is the only 6'1" player on this 7-man list. A 6'1" player that has played 48 games this season, which I actually thought he played way more than 48 games this season. I'm not sure how that number is so low, but hey, all you can do is look and find out. Like, oh, I guess I seen a good amount of the games they've been in. Didn't think I would watch a lot of Timberwolves games this year, but I've seen a few more than I definitely expected to. But this guy that I'm talking about that is on my list, 6'1" player, 48 games, is Patrick Beverley. Patrick Beverley is a 3-time all-defensive team nominated player. He is currently averaging 9.3 points, 4.2 rebounds, 4.9 assists, 0.9 blocks, and 1.1 steal. Again, coming up on another player who is giving you 1 steal and 1 block a night, along with 5 assists a night and 4 rebounds and 10 points. I mean, Patrick's across the board. 6'1", one steal, one block. That's crazy. I wonder how much Pat weighs. Patrick Beverly probably is about 215, maybe a little heavier than that. So I'm what can I say? I mean, these numbers really give you what you need to know. You go and watch some of these guys. You'll understand they're scrappy, they're active. They're not the kind. This entire list, they're not the guys that you're gonna see sitting and lurking around in corners. They're gonna be lurking in the passing lanes and popping up behind guys and taking charges and those kind of things. The next guy on my list, 6'5" player, currently playing in San Antonio. He's played 60 games. DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray was nominated to the 17-18 All-Defensive Team. He is currently averaging 20.8 points, 8.4 rebounds, 9.4 assists, 0.3 blocks, and 2.1 steals for DeJounte Murray. Go ahead and catch his next game. Matter of fact, just go and watch one of his games. Don't even wait till he comes to play your team because he's probably going to embarrass your point guard. I'm really not. It doesn't matter. Even if it's, one of those top elite guys, he's going to give them a run for their money too. So my suggestion is to just go watch the next game that the Spurs have, and you can see DeJounte in his element versus when he comes to destroy your team. Just letting you know, when we read the numbers again, defensive guy, 20.8 points, 8.4 rebounds, 9.4 assists, 0.3 blocks, and 2.1 steals, coming to destroy your team. So let's move on to our next guy. The next guy on my list is a 6'4" player who has played 62 games. He recently got moved over to the Boston Celtics. Derek White. Derek White is currently averaging 13.6 points, 3.5 rebounds, 5 assists, 0.9 blocks, and 1 solid steal per game. 0.9 blocks and 1 solid steal per game for Derek White. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the next player on my list. He has played 53 games this season. He is 6'6". He was nominated to the 18-19 All-Rookie Team, and Shai Gilgeous averages 24.2 points, 5 rebounds, 5.8 assists, 0.8 blocks, and 1.3 steal for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Another guy that I encourage you to go and see play. And the last guy, the 7th guy on my list, last but not least, definitely not least, is a guy who has played 60 games in this season. 6'6", Anthony Edwards. AE was on the 2020-2021 All-Rookie Team. He is currently averaging, again, all of these players can possibly end up getting their own show on a different day, so I'm not going to give their career numbers, just their current numbers. Anthony Edwards is currently averaging 21 points, 4.7 rebounds, 3.7 assists, 0.7 blocks, and 1.5 steal for Anthony Edwards. 0.7 blocks and 1.5 steals for Anthony Edwards. By all means, go and check all of those guys out. I'll give you their names one more time. Anthony Edwards, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Derek White, DeJounte Murray, Patrick Beverly, Tyrese Halliburton, and Matisse Thybulle. Those are the top defensive guards, in my opinion. I think the numbers actually pretty much agree. I made this list. I think there's 2 guys I took off of the list. One had not played more than 4. Actually, in fact, he had only played 3 games in his. Somehow he just ended up in the pool I was looking in, and I was like, how did he get here? Like I had to. Anyway, so that's one that I had to take off the list that I had written. And then another player is actually a star player, one of the top guards in the league. However, he only averages 0.3 steals, and that is not in the ballpark of a total steal when you do it on average. So that is our episode on a thought and a list. Again, a thought about Russell Westbrook when he's the number 1 option versus Russell Westbrook as the number 3 option. Very productive player either way. I'm not exactly sure how no one else sees that. Hey, we're not talking about an eye test here, but I understand that side of things too. and a list of guys who I don't think gets talked about enough for their input and their output for their team and for the glory of victory or competition, however you want to look at it. This has been If Numbers Could Talk. My name is Keelan. I appreciate you guys. By all means, come by, check me out every Tuesday. I'll be right here giving you some new information, new numbers, new content. Also, swing on by the Thinkering Talks page or any of the pages of our podcast that are on YouTube and or Facebook. Those podcasts, those podcasts are as such. Exofathom, it comes on Monday at 8 p.m. If Numbers Could Talk, which you're currently watching and or listening to, which comes on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Screen Time Continuum, which comes on Wednesdays and Sundays at 8:30 p.m. And by all means, head over to YouTube and or Twitch. Check out Dijon. He's going to be over giving you some really cool games, new games, old games, all kinds of things that you may or may not know about. But Strawberries and Coffee is definitely going to be there for you. Hit the subscribe and the notification bell on all of our podcasts. Definitely over on Twitch, hit that notification bell for Dijon because he goes live impromptu. You never really know. It's not always scheduled. Sometimes he just has time and wants to give you something new. So definitely make sure you do that. Hit like and subscribe. We really appreciate you. Stay in tune with everything we have going on and everything we'll be bringing you in the future. And we appreciate you for staying around. For If Numbers Could Talk, my name is Keelan. Have a great one, guys. I mean, eventually I'm going to learn how to do this without looking.